Hi, thanks for coming back. It's Matt here again with mywebbro.com, and today I'm really happy to show you the Consumer Barometer with Google tool. This is a tool that I use as an internet marketing specialist to determine whether or not a client is going to see high return on investment in regards to our marketing efforts. Whether it be organic search engine optimization, which takes the form of labor, of course, or pay-per-click campaigns, which takes the form of a budget that you spend daily on clicks. So let's go right in and let's, as they say, dive into the data with the graph builder. This is my favorite part of the tool. First thing I need to do is choose the United States. That's where I'm going to be doing my research. And this tool goes from very vague and very general to very granular. And I want to show you both ends of that spectrum. On the general, on the vague end is, do people use the internet for personal purposes? 86% of them say yes they do, 14% of them say no they don't. I think we can imagine who the 14% of people who don't use the internet are, but the question was asked like this: how often do you access the internet for personal reasons? Please think about your usage habits during the last month. So they asked 1,000 people that question, and this was the response they got. Frequency of internet use, they asked 797 people, how often do you access the internet for personal reasons? 86% of them do that daily. For personal reasons, they access the internet for whatever reason. So see how general those numbers are now? Now let's look at some more specific numbers that help us make decisions as a business. Research behavior. I think it's very interesting to see that people started researching their product purchase, 21% of them moments before the purchase. And that sounds like me, honestly. Moments before most purchases, I'm doing some research and making some decisions because I want that thing. 14% were hours before the purchase, and then days before the purchase, and then weeks before the purchase. Okay, 18% of people didn't collect any information. So I think that's interesting. This is another interesting one. The number of brands that were considered by a consumer before they made a purchase. 37% of people only considered one brand. So that brand sold them and they bought it. Now, 20% of people considered two brands, and that means more than half of all consumers have only considered two brands before they made a product purchase. That's an incredible insight to me. Underneath the category of Smart Shopper, we have my absolute favorite information, and that is the searching for local information. So searching for local is what we all do when we go to Google and we do a search, and we're searching for someone near me to go and make a purchase, whether that be coffee or ice cream, a washing machine, a skateboard, a car, or a house. We do those searches and we're searching for someone locally, and that's what this looks like. Searching for local information. Similar to the other statistics we looked at in research behavior, we can see that people search online for local information a few moments, 15% of them a few moments before, 25% of them an hour before, and 27% of them a day before. That's a total of, well, a majority of people, we can say, start searching for a local business in the day before they make a purchase. So that's an important insight, that your real-time marketing efforts do matter, don't they? So motivation's an interesting one. 33% of people are researching local businesses to plan an activity, and 24% to plan a shopping trip. So, and this number here, 25%, is because a very particular product or service was needed. So we can see about half of people are on the internet searching for a local business because a particular product or service was needed and they need a store to buy it at, or they need a retail brick and mortar location to buy it at. Very interesting. Let's see here. Searching for local information. We can say we can ask what was the location of the search. 58% of people do that search at home looking for a place to go. 55% are not at home when they do that search. And you can see something like 12% are doing both on their way to go make a purchase. So, interesting. I always like to see the difference between online and offline research in regards to how people find local businesses. So, according to the 1,153 people that were asked, which online sources did you use for looking for a business, and which offline sources gave you information? And they said 38% of them said they only researched locally online. 56% did research both online and offline. So again, as an internet marketing specialist, I'm never trying to claim that the internet is the end-all be-all of all your marketing efforts, because here we can see very clearly that less than 40% of people are only searching online, and then, you know, the rest of those people are doing research on both online and offline. And this is when we talk about 7 touches. This is when we talk about, you know, knowing and liking and trusting someone. You need to really see a logo a few times sometimes before you make a big purchase. Especially the higher the dollar amount, I think, the more times you want to see that logo. Cool, so I want to show you one more category here, or I'm sorry, I want to show you one more filter. Because if I take the same information here, for example, let's do proximity of search, which is a very interesting statistic. How close to the business were you while looking for local information? Okay, 11% of people claim that they were in sight of the business when they were looking for the local information. Is that intense or what? They're already looking at your store and they're doing research online about you. 15% were within a few hundred yards or meters, so they're, you know, at least on their way there is the idea. They must have been on their way somewhere while they're doing their research. Then within a few miles, and then more than a few miles. So the majority of people do this research more than a few miles from your location. So that's why we usually typically want to target something between 25 and 50 miles. Some services even less. So now what I want to do is, how close to the businesses were people while looking for local information? Let's apply a filter to that. Let's talk about products purchased and what category. Let's say we're talking to a restaurant owner, okay? Very similar numbers, but this is what I'd want to show the restaurant owner, is that 11% of people are actually looking for restaurant information while staring at your brick and mortar restaurant. Interesting stuff, okay? So you can say contractors. I'll change that up for contractors, and you can see it's a much different number. 17% more people are doing research locally online when in sight of a contractor's business. Interesting. I don't know why that is, but here's the proof. The proof is right here. It's interesting though, there's only 57 people responded to this question, so we really narrowed it down a lot. All right, so anyway, I was really excited to get a chance to show you all how much information Google gives us as internet marketing specialists, that there's not as much guesswork in this as you think. There's a very specific plan that should be put in place so that you can return very high, you can have a very high return on your investment when you spend money on internet marketing. All right, so thanks for coming back. It was great to have you here. I'm about to hit 2,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, so please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you get a chance. I'm also on Facebook and I'm on LinkedIn. I'm Matt Panapinto, mywebbro.com. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.